My name is Charlotte Hayes, and for most of my adult life, I believed marriage was a story with a clear beginning and a predictable ending. You meet, you fall in love, you marry, you raise children, and you grow old together. That's what I thought when I said I do to my husband Michael. For nearly 12 years, I lived inside that script until the night he confessed a wish that would shake the foundation of our marriage in ways I never imagined. What made it even more complicated wasn't the wish itself, but the fact that I said yes. Michael and I met in college. He was a mechanical engineering student, steady and focused, while I was in psychology, curious and talkative, always hungry for long discussions about life. We met in the library, buried under piles of books, and somehow hours slipped away in laughter and conversation. He had this quiet strength, a calming presence that balanced my restless energy. After graduation, we married in a small Virginia church, surrounded by family and friends. Life was as close to perfect as I could imagine. Michael landed a job at an engineering firm, and I began working as a counselor. We bought a little house, adopted a golden retriever named Buddy, and later, 2 beautiful children, Olivia now 8 and Ethan 5. From the outside, we looked like the couple people envied, stable, loving, the kind of marriage others pointed to as an example. But as many of you watching right now might know, even the strongest relationships can hide cracks. The cracks in ours came quietly. Michael worked long hours. I was stretched thin between my job, the children, and the endless demands of keeping a home together. Our conversations turned into list bills, school schedules, chores, rather than dreams or feelings. We still loved each other, but life left little room for intimacy. Then came our 12th wedding anniversary. That evening, Michael took me to a small, quiet restaurant. Candlelight flickered between us, reminding me of the early days when everything felt new. He held my hand, and with a seriousness in his eyes I hadn't seen before, he whispered, "Charlotte, there's something I need to tell you. It's not easy, but I can't keep it inside anymore." My heart froze. I braced for the worst: illness, a job loss, or even betrayal. But what he said next stunned me. He confessed a wish to step outside the boundaries of our marriage. Not because he didn't love me, he swore I was his everything, but because a part of him felt unfulfilled, and he didn't want to bury it in silence until it eventually broke us. I can still remember staring at him, torn between love, anger, fear, and something else: curiosity. The counselor in me understood what unspoken desires could do to a person, how secrets can rot a bond from the inside out. But the wife in me felt betrayed. "So, you're asking for permission?" I asked softly. He nodded. "Only if you want it. Only if you say yes." That night, I didn't answer. For weeks, I wrestled with the question. I talked to my sister, Melissa, who warned me to guard my heart. I journaled endlessly, writing down fears, doubts, possibilities. And I watched Michael closely. He wasn't pushing me. Instead, he grew more attentive, making coffee, sending kind messages, helping with the kids. He seemed lighter, as though simply being honest had freed him. One evening, watching him read bedtime stories to Ethan, his voice soft and patient, I realized his wish wasn't born from a desire to leave us, but from a desire to live without lies. That kind of honesty, I thought, was rare. So one night in the dark of our bedroom, I whispered, "Yes." Not because I want to lose you, but because I trust you. And maybe I have wishes too. The relief and joy in his eyes was something I'll never forget. But saying yes was only the beginning. We built rules, boundaries to protect each other and our family. No secrets, no lies, always check in, always communicate. It wasn't about replacing love, but about expanding honesty, about truly knowing one another. Those months were both the hardest and the most transformative of our marriage. There were nights I cried, wondering if I had made the biggest mistake of my life. And there were mornings when Michael held me close, whispering that I was still his heart, his home, his forever. And then something shifted inside me too. I admitted my own longings, not just romantically, but in life. I wanted more adventure, more spontaneity. To travel to rediscover the woman I'd buried under motherhood and responsibility. And to my surprise, Michael said yes to me too. We began small, weekend trips, dance classes, long nights of conversation like we hadn't had since college. Slowly our marriage transformed, not into something perfect, but into something alive. We still argued, we still stumbled, and yes, we faced judgment from people who would never understand. But our love became stronger, not because it fit society's rules, but because it was ours. Honest, raw, courageous. Looking back, I realize Michael's wish was never really about infidelity. It was about daring to choose growth over stagnation, truth over silence, courage over fear. Today we are still together, still raising Olivia and Ethan, still building a life hand in hand. And sometimes, when the house is quiet, I think back to that anniversary dinner and whisper a silent thank you for his courage to share and for my courage to answer. Because in love, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is step into the unknown together. Dear friends, Charlotte and Michael's story is just one of countless love journeys with unexpected turns. If you have experienced something similar, please leave a comment to share. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel Love and Tears so you don't miss out on emotional stories where we cry, laugh, and find ourselves in love together.